Hi, Zizaran here with another video about Diablo 4, and today we're going to be talking about the Diablo 4 multiplayer experience. So I was playing with Karn, Nugian, and Steel, and we were basically testing things like loot, XP sharing, the logout system, and just the general gameplay experience and leveling together. So let's dive into our findings. First, let's just talk about leveling in general. We were trying to find exploits and things that we could use to any advantage or anything that needs to be bug reported. And first we're comparing dungeons with leveling in the campaign, and we found some pretty interesting results. So first, let's talk about the campaign leveling. After 1 hour and 11 minutes, our party only reached level 11, and we finished the campaign in this time, but that was also with the level 25 character boosting us. We weren't playing crazy tryhard and could definitely get that under an hour. But especially level-wise, this was not super... It wasn't a good pace. Next up, we tried leveling in dungeons, and after just 31 minutes, our characters reached level 14. So it's already like over twice as good as the campaign leveling. We were also boosting with a level 25 character, but that didn't really provide a huge speed increase. So boosting might be something that ends up being a lot more effective with fully geared endgame characters, where maybe you can get a large amount of movement speed, as well as clear speed. Boosting is something that seemed potentially useful between level 5 to 10 for the other characters, and then the person boosting could then log off that character and jump back on like a lower level character and continue being part of the leveling experience with the rest of the team. Now, a reason this is important, it's kind of unclear to me at the moment if you will need to do the campaign on every single character. So having like a super high movement speed rogue, barbarian, etc. could be really good. If you do need to complete the campaign on each character. If you don't, then dungeon spamming is probably going to be the way. Next up, we were looking at spreading out for experience, loot mechanics, and was there any like downside to being further away from each other? It is also important to note, all of this testing was done on Torment 1, because there isn't a huge benefit from being on Torment 2, but you do get a huge benefit from spreading out. Let's talk about the findings. Spreading out for leveling was insane. It seemed that XP was sometimes shared throughout the entire zone, even though you'd basically be a 2 or 3 minute run away from each other. We did have some issues where party members ended up on different layers, particularly during events, then they wouldn't get any XP at all. But there was one point where a Steel Mage was in the bottom right of a zone, and Nugi was in all the way top left, and they were leveling each other up. Next up, we tried dungeon XP sharing, and even if you're standing all the way at the entrance, you're receiving full XP from your party's kills. And then you might be thinking, well, you're going to lose out on all the good loot and legendaries. However, there is a legendary item drop mechanic. If you don't pick up a dropped legendary item, it'll get teleported to your stash, which will then blink red, so you're never going to miss any of the most valuable loot. 4 missed equipment.
Wait, I have missed equipment.
I don't have anything.
What the fuck?
Sounds great. Everybody had stuff off screen but me. I guess you guys
wait.
been doing it for a while, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's awesome.
I'll take it.
That's actually awesome.
That's pretty funny.
So we don't even lose loot during this strat.
Next up, we tested out the death mechanics and things as logging out in Diablo 4. Obviously, logout macro is a very contentious issue in Path of Exile. We wanted to see what is it going to be like in Diablo 4. So on logging out before death, we intentionally got our characters to low health and then logged out, either via task manager or closing the game. We would also try things like auto-hotkey macro, which we created simply by using ChatGPT. And as long as we logged out before we saw our character die, the character would not die, even if the party chat indicated otherwise. And we tried this several times with hardcore characters, and as long as I was out before the character was gone, I would not fully lose my character. It would just show that I died. There was also no durability loss on softcore characters that died in this way. However, if you log out after your death, your character does not save. You will be fully dead. So we thought initially maybe it's an issue with actually accepting that your character has died that would make it not dead, but this was not the case. So that pretty much indicates that currently the Diablo 4 system ends up being similar to Path of Exile with the logout macro. As long as you press your logout before you have seen that your character died, you are not in for 10 seconds and you're in instantly. Now, it is pretty interesting to note that the devs have said in some podcasts that they were intending that the scroll of escape would be automatically used anyway. So this isn't necessarily counterintuitive to what the devs have planned. And actually, I think that is a better solution than Path of Exile's logout macro. Could be really interesting to see how that plays out. I currently think the worst scenario or the worst thing would be the Diablo 3 cheat death system, because the way it works in Diablo 3 is that anytime you disconnect, you die. And while you're actively playing hardcore, you can basically not die because you end up waiting 2 minutes for your cheat deaths to come back before proceeding. So I actually think the Diablo 4 system would be really good, where you get a form of logo macro, especially focused on disconnecting, and hopefully you're still able to play during actual gameplay and still die. However, Diablo 4 is already showing signs of cheat death mechanics, with the Sork having 2 already at level 25. So that's pretty much all for the multiplayer testing we did. I hope you enjoyed the video and find all of these findings insightful. I do get that this will obviously spark a debate around logout macro, but either way, let me know your thoughts in general, not just on the logout stuff, but how do you feel about the XP sharing, the legendaries going to your inventory, and yeah, comment away. Thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.